I must apologize, Iris. Who was that? Oh. This is really all my fault. Hully? I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I've been very naughty. I take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and I apologize, I promise. Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then let me look after it for you until we get there. Oh, good thinking, quick thinking. I was thinking maybe we shouldn't, so we should read it, right, and keep it as evidence. Nice. Let's take a look at the autopsy report. Victim Clint Van Zieks, 33, British, time of death 31st May, between 9 p.m. and midnight. Death from a single stab wound to the heart, other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Duel? Okay. Additional notes, like a sword duel? Recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring fingers of the right hand, but no document in corresponding ink was found. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. So the scarlet ink stains are conclusive evidence that Genshin Aosugi was the killer? Really? Oh, Gregson's trunk. We haven't looked at this one. You can see a cut. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged, whatever made a gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. And there's a blood stain. Look at this dark stain here. Do you think... Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes. Do you think Gina's been carrying this around with her? If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. This in no way looks like a grease stain. What are you talking about? Let's have a look inside. A letter. Some kind of liquid, medication maybe. A book. A bag. 2 books. Look, there's something inside. Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something that was... Oh. What is it? It was for travel on 31st of October, just 1 day before the incident. What? Really? It was issued for travel to France the day before his body was discovered? Didn't he want to take Gina with him? Or am I remembering things wrong? Huh? Gina should know when to travel to France, right? If she was to go with him. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered? It's just a passport though. Why would it have the date of departure? Why would it have a date of departure and the location? Okay. Maybe that's how things worked at that time. I don't know. I must go and water my herbs, I think. Okay. I'll see you all later. Iris, if you need to talk, you can talk to us. Poor Iris, she must be feeling awful. She's just... Wait, is she feeling awful because she stole the thing? Really? That's all? That doesn't explain why Professor Mikotoba is here, though. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. Ah! What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? Oh dear me. So, you've noticed, I see. Wait, what? I did not notice. What did I notice? Oh, passport Tobias Gregson, passport number ACD 0522, date of departure within 1 week from 31st of October. Yeah, within 1 week. Doesn't mean he went to France before his murder. Port of Dunkirk, France. Purpose of travel, police business. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel, namely Gina, right? Wait, what am I supposed to notice? John H. Wilson, Clint Van Zeeks, 33, British. What am I supposed to notice? Scarlet ink stains? Is that supposed to ring something? What am I supposed to notice? But that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Miss Susato? You've turned as white as a sheet. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. What? Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? What? Because I know this writing very well. This writing, it's my father's. Eh? Hold on, what are you trying to say? Oh wait, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say your father wrote the adventures of Sherlock Holmes? Are you saying your father is Iris's father? Wait, what is happening? No way. What? Professor Mikotoba's? Indeed, it's true. What do you mean it's true? What's true? And now you know, my dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What are you talking about? What on earth does all of this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. So, this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible, my dear fellow. Pray, take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. What? It does? 10 years ago is when father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science. One logical explanation would be that Mikotoba wrote the report and Dr. Wilson signed it. That makes no sense! Why would Mikotoba write the adventures of Sherlock Holmes? And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson. Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. I'm so confused. Did Mikotoba... So, if that's true, then it's a given that Mikotoba wrote The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and locked his manuscript inside that trunk here. And Holmes told Iris that the person who wrote that was her father? Why would he say that? Is it true? No way. No way, no way, no way. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Holmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So, what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Oh, we had the manuscript. Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see. And please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madam, absolutely. So, where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. But if this autopsy report and the records and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Pray impress me. Your partner would have to be Yuji Mikotoba. In other words, Mr. Sato's father. Oh, and if we look at his design, yeah, he does look like Dr. Watson in other popular depictions of Sherlock Holmes with a mustache and a hat. Oh, okay. But no way he's Iris's father. What are you talking about? Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba! Well, that's a twist. Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? What are you talking about? He's not the real Dr. Wilson. No, my dear. I'm still my old self, Yuji Mikotoba, your father. Of course. This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Pray remind me, when was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah, yes, quite. 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right, so I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense, and was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. Yeah, that coincides with popular stories of Sherlock Holmes. I was working at a hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. And the situation of our cohabitation led to us pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. The case with which you've become rather familiar yourselves with. The Professor killings. Hold on. Why did you tell Iris that the manuscript in your trunk was from her father? That's all sorts of fucked up if that isn't true. After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising, given the circumstances. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing. Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner? Yeah, she's realized it too. Father? Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you are the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And that is? You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Ah, of course, I'd almost forgotten about that one. You know. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Sholmes? Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in the metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. Okay, he did not say it's correct. That's what he told young Iris. Why would you tell her that? That's so cruel. But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all these case notes, then Iris's father must be you. Ah! Upon my word, Miss Susato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. Sholmes, please say something of substance. You finally grasped the art of deduction. What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris, Ooh, there it is, Susato-san's ice-cold stare. No, now hold on a minute, it was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is? Uh-oh, does Susato take down? That is, now the eyes go from ice-cold to red-hot, just before she... Oh, really? You've got the wrong end of the stick, Sholmes. Say something, man! Sholmes! Oh, what? That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Why are you dressed like that? Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotopa and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our character waits downstairs already. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really, I visit our home after 10 long years, and when I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all this. I guess Iris must have, booby-trapped the chest. Father, please, go with Mr. Sholmes now. What? I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. I trust you, completely. Oh, this is so heartwarming. Susato. And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. I think she's just dazzled by the prospect that new adventures await Sholmes and subsequently her in the form of a new book. Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle and in reaching a decision. A decision about whether to go back, I suppose.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth. And that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.